Then let's sit here for a moment. I don't have a lot to say today. I've been doing a lot of reading and I was really thinking, what do I want to talk about today? And the only thing that I'd like to start out with is something that inspired me with an email early this morning. I get this email every day with a little quote, and this morning it hit me. All it said was that we have 84,600. How big is that number? Seconds in a day. And what it made me think is I have a group that I'm working with, and I talked about affirmations this week. And every day I wake up and I say the same affirmations, which is something that I work on about the person that I want to be. And one of those things, well, I can say what they all are because they're all okay. But so it's to be kind. These are mine: non-judgmental, curious, and patient. So we have 84,600 seconds in a day. So I guess I just want to start out by saying choose who you want to be, and then make sure that in those 84,600 seconds, you take some time. And I was thinking about being kind, about thanking people during that, a few seconds of that day, and finding a space or some seconds in amongst that big number to make sure that I am kind. So I just wanted to say that to you. Welcome. I have some new people today. My name's Anita Greenwald. I'm a health coach and a yoga teacher, and we're about to start with our 45 minutes of breathing and moving together. So we're seated now. We've been seated like this for just a minute or two. I want you to take your legs, uncross them, and cross them in the other direction. Because in yoga, we like to be even. And even though we'll probably be here, you chose the first way because that was most comfortable for your body. And I believe putting a little bit of stress, good kind of stress, not chronic stress, but good kind of stress on your body is good. So we're going to start with the breath. First, just check your alignment. So if you're seated on a block or a blanket, feel your hips or the floor, feel your sit bones push into the floor or whatever you're seated on, and make sure that just check your alignment, that your rib cage is right over your hips, shoulders are away from the ears, over the rib cage, head is up and center as if there's a string taking you from the crown of the head to the ceiling. So your body is completely aligned. We're not leaning forward or back, and you're not bent. We're going to start with a 4-part breath because breathing is one of the 8 limbs of yoga. And we always start with a breath to sort of tune into our body. And also, the breath I chose today is the same one we did last week because it's such a good one. And it stimulates it massages the vagus nerve as we breathe through the nostrils in this way, which will start us by being a little bit more relaxed. So we're going to raise our arms as we inhale through the nostrils for the count of 4. We're going to hold our palms together at the top for 4 seconds and hold your breath for 4 seconds. And then we're going to reverse the swan dive, arms down for 4 seconds as we exhale, and hold for 4 seconds. It's a box breath. 4 seconds, inhale, 4 seconds, hold, 4 seconds, exhale, 4 seconds, hold. I'll count it. You don't have to count, and we'll do it 4 times. So ready? Bring your arms up. Palms are facing up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Palms go the other way as we exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. I think I'm counting fast. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. think this is the last one. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I lost count myself. I hope that was 4. Okay, we're going to start by warming up the spine. So we're going to do some torso circles. We're going to start by leaning over our right leg. And now somebody said to me in my class on Wednesday that when I'm teaching on Zoom and you're watching me, that if I go to the right, and I can't tell because I don't know how you're seeing it, I just changed the settings. But if you see that I'm going left when I'm telling you to go right, it doesn't really matter as long as you go in the other direction or use the other side of your body. So as long as we're even in the end. So you don't have to pay, you could just either listen to me and do the right side first, which we always do, or follow by looking and then just make sure you get the other side in and don't get confused. So we're going to lean over the right leg, doesn't really matter which leg. And as we cross the front body, you're going to inhale. And then we're going to go all the way around in like torso circles. The bend is it's not at the waist. The bend is, actually there's really no bend. You're taking your spine from the sacrum. You're just moving the spine around. And if there is a bend over the front legs, it's right here at the hip crease. So let's bend over the front body. Inhale as we cross the front body. And as you lean back with a straight back, you're going to exhale. So over the front, inhale, exhale as we lean back, and it's always through the nose. Inhale, exhale. And as you come over the right knee again, go in the opposite direction, but to not confuse you, you exhale as you lean back. And inhale as you cross the front body. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And then come to center. And once again, just check your alignment. Make sure you're aligned over your hips. And we're going to do the 7 movements of the spine. So take your arms up with a big inhale. Hands touch each other, palms together. Your neck is straight, so your gaze is straight ahead. Your arms are over your ears. And as you do that, see if you can bring the shoulders down as you sink the hips into the resistance of the floor or the block or the blanket, and yet you lengthen the spine. So try to see if you can gain a ½ inch between those vertebrae. Make yourself a little bit taller. And on the inhale, see if you get taller. And as you exhale, just see if you can relax a little bit and don't hold your breath. Get a little taller. We all, our spine is compressed from standing, walking. We don't think about lengthening. So here's where we get to think about lengthening. Now, while your hands are up here, take your left hand in your right wrist. Now, if this is hard for you, you can take a block and put it on your right side. So you have a choice here. But if this works for you, take your left wrist into your right hand and let's lean towards the right. Someone tell me later if on your screen it looks like I'm leaning to the right or the left, because to me it looks like I'm leaning left because I took the mirror off. It's very confusing. Breathe. Now, if you wanted to take a block, you can place your hand on the block and you're still doing the same movement. Your arm is over your ear. Just make sure your alignment is good. You're not leaning forward. Your chest is open. And come center. Let's do the other side. So if you have a block, you can place it on the left side. If not, you take your right wrist into your left hand as we lean to the left. And you might want to take your right hand and open up the rib cage and just move the rib cage so you feel the spread on the chest, open heart. Kindness. In yoga, we equate open chest with an open heart. It's just a beautiful way to see it. Okay, we're center again. And now we're going to lean forward. And when we're going to do a forward bend over our seat, you do not want to bend at the waist. You want to bend at the hip flexor. So if you want to put your hands right here, open hands, you can feel where you're bending. Just make sure you're not bending at the waist. And take your hands, you can tent them and slowly move forward. The idea is not to collapse into a rounded back, but to just forward bend with a very flat, straight back, shoulders away from the ears, chest is wide. Wherever you can go, you might be up here. So that's the beautiful thing about yoga, is that it's for everybody and we're all different. I'm reading in my new teacher training manual how is it that in yoga we think that the posture, come back up, and let's lean back. Same thing, lean back, not at the waist, straight spine, so your neck is straight. So you just keep the line long. How is it that we think a 5-foot tall ballerina and a football player can look the same in an asana or a yoga posture? You can't. Every body is different. And we have different levels of tension in our body and compression. I'll get into that more. Anyway, take your right hand, bring it behind you. Take your left hand, place it on your right knee, and before you twist, make sure you're aligned and your head, the crown, think about that string pulling the crown of your head up so you're very tall and straight. As you inhale, lift that spine again, see if you can get really tall. And as you exhale, relax and look over the right shoulder into a twist. Do the same thing with each breath. Inhale, get tall, and exhale, see if you can relax a little bit more. Yoga is about strengthening and relaxing all at the same time. Cross your hands over your legs, come center, and let's just go to the other side. So the right hand is on the left knee, the left arm is behind you, fingers tented, or however, we all have different length arms. So some of you might be flat, have your palms flat on the floor. Okay, inhale, get tall, exhale, take that twist around and see if you could relax into looking over your left shoulder. Again, as you inhale, get tall, exhale, relax. Come center. And let's remove whatever's under you. If something is under you at this point, we're going to come into table. So bring your knees under your hips, hip distance apart. Your fingers are wide, webbed, and they're under your shoulders. We did the torso circles while we were seated. Just let yourself sway over your wrists. Let's massage the wrists a little bit. We've all been working on the computer. Massage, just sway your entire body over the wrists. In yoga, you don't want to feel any extra pain. So I used to say, don't let you shouldn't feel any pain, but somebody corrected me, go in the other direction. Someone corrected me and say, some people live in constant chronic pain. So what I'm going to say is that any additional pain, if you feel pain, you can take it to the edge, get curious about where it's coming from and why you're feeling it, and then back off because there should be no pain. Okay, we're over our wrists, and let's take our wrists and turn the fingers so that they're facing the body. Let's just do a couple of circles in each direction. This way. You might feel it with your thumb joint if you're on the phone texting all day, like I am usually, which is not a good thing. Then go in the opposite direction. And then bring your hands again under your shoulders, and we'll do a little cat-cow. So first for cow, take your navel almost like you're bringing it to the floor. Your tailbone comes up, your chin comes up as you sink the navel towards the floor and the tailbone is up. And then that's an inhale. And as you exhale, navel to the spine, tailbone tucks under, chin to chest. And you're going to move with the breath with those two positions, postures. 84,600 seconds. Okay, take the right foot, bring it back behind you, lift it up hip height, take the left arm and bring it out straight in front of you. Flex the back foot. You're in a balanced pose, you're working your core, you're breathing for bird dog. Let the hand come back under the shoulder, bring the knee down to meet the other, and let's take the left foot out. Hip height, foot is flexed. Right arm out. Your gaze is at the floor. Your neck is straight in a neutral position with the spine. Bring your navel to the spine. Work the core. You're balancing as well. Hand back down, knee under hip. Let's take the hands and bring them forward, and we're going to come into a puppy dog pose. So you're going to sink the chest towards the floor, forehead on the floor. The tailbone is up at the sky. The knees are under the hips for puppy dog. Chest is wide. And bring the hands back under the shoulders. Let's take the right hand and bring it up to the sky. And then thread it through under the left arm and let your cheek come down onto your mat with your gaze at your hand that just went through for thread the needle. You can actually take your left hand and bring it up in front of you. Stretch it straight out. Bring the hand back under, unfurl, and let's take the left arm up to the sky and thread it through the needle. You can take that right arm, bring it out in front of you. Your left cheek is on the floor. Your gaze is at your outstretched hand. Hand comes under your shoulder and you're back in table. Curl the feet under, lift the tailbone to the sky for a first down dog. Now you can walk the dog, which is another word for pedaling the feet. Bend your knees. It's our first dog. Your hamstrings. Give your hamstrings some love here. There's no need to take your legs straight unless that's really easy for you. We all have a different amount of ability for them. This is where you might feel tension. So it might limit your ability to have straight legs, which is fine because it's about your uniqueness and your body. And then when you're ready, let's walk our feet to our hands and let's hang here in a forward bend. Again, your knees are bent, protecting the hamstrings. You can hold your elbows and just relax the head. Say yes, say no. Let the head really relax. Press your feet into the floor, spread your toes. Let the hands relax, let them come to the floor, and then just roll up. Shoulders back, and we're in Tadasana. So for Tadasana, let's just align our Tadasana. I'm gonna come here. You wanna have your feet hip distance apart. I look at it, I'm looking down and I see 1 fist of space between my feet, and your toes are spread wide. So toes are spread wide. Check your alignment. So the first thing I want you to do is lift your toes up in the air. When you lift your toes up, you're engaging the quads, your knees are lifting. You can almost feel the engagement of the entire leg. I love to talk about energy lines. So the energy is now in the legs. Now place the toes back down. Actually, before you bring them up again, let's see how, remind me, like tell me how, for those of you who've been doing this for a while, let me know if you're there yet. Place the big toe down on the floor. Place the pinky toe down on the floor. Can you do that? Can you leave the other 3 toes up? Mind-body connection. Bring all the toes down onto the floor. Now check your alignment, where your knees over your ankles and your hips over your knees, rib cage, shoulders down away from the ears, but over the rib cage. Hands come out, palms facing forward. Energy line. If I saw a lightning bolt, it would go from one fingertip around my chest all the way down to the other, or you can relax. But if you put the energy in, you're actually doing an isometric exercise and working your arms. Tadasana, or mountain pose. So we're going to start with a sun salutation A. I'll move myself over here so you can see. In Tadasana, we start palms facing forward, and we inhale, we raise our arms to the sky, palms touch. Exhale, swan dive down into a forward bend. Your knees could be micro bent. Relax the head, say yes, say no. Inhale, come halfway up with your arms, up your shins, flat back. So at this point, you might want to take those shoulders and bring them back as if someone can serve tea on your flat back.
Exhale, come back down, hands on the floor on either side of the outside of the feet, the pinky toe side of the feet, and take your feet back into a plank position. You're still on the same exhale, believe it or not. We come down, you can bring your knees down to do a push-up, or you can do chaturanga and bring yourself down. We're gonna do a baby cobra. Squeeze the elbows towards the ribs, unfurl the feet, and come up with your slight back bend. Your gaze is sort of where the wall and the floor meet. And if you could take your hands away because you're not really pressing into the floor with the hands. It's just there as, I don't know, it's just there. You're using your back muscle. Curl the toes under, lift the tailbone to the sky, come into down dog. Take a breath here. You can pedal the feet, walk the dog. And let's walk our feet to our hands. Again, we're in forward bend. Inhale as you come up with a flat back. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, reverse swan dive, the arms up, palms touch. Exhale, hands back to Tadasana. Sun salutation B. So we're still warming up. This is not the flow part of the class yet, but it is the flow, obviously. We're just warming the body up. Inhale, bring your hands by your ears, shoulders down as your seat comes down into like as if you're sitting in a chair. So here we're rooting and rising. You're pressing your feet into the floor. You're bringing your hips down into the chair. So you're pushing down and pull, resistance, like as if there's a chair. And at the same time, your torso is rising. So you're rooting and rising as you are in chair pose. Take a breath here. Look down, make sure you can see the toes over your knees. See if you can sink a little further into that chair. And then release, bring the tailbone up, fold into a forward bend. Inhale, come to flat back. Again, take the shoulders back so your back is flat. Exhale, come down to the floor, come into plank, and come into push-up. Uncurl the toes. Inhale. This time we're coming up to a regular cobra. So you're using your hands under the shoulders. You're pushing up a little bit. Your elbows are still bent and close to the body. And your gaze is to the wall in front of you. Your knees are on the floor. Curl the toes under as you exhale. Come into down dog. Inhale, take the right foot up into the air. Bring it through where the thumb is or where your wrist is on the right-hand side. Take the back foot, turn it 45 degrees as you come up into warrior one. Take a breath here. Front leg is bent. Back leg is at 45 degrees and straight. You can micro bend. Deep breath. And place your hands down on either side of the front foot. Bring that foot back into plank. Exhale, come into chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Unfurl the feet, back to cobra. Take a deep breath. See if you can bring the shoulders together down the back. See if you can bring those shoulder blades together. Chest is wide, heart is open. Curl the toes under, lift up into down dog. This time, inhale and bring the left foot up and place it through and next to your left wrist. Before you come up, turn that back foot so it's at a 45-degree angle, and then come up with a bent front leg into warrior one. Hold here. See if you can bend a little deeper. Hands on either side of the front foot. Bring that left foot back so you're in plank. Take a deep breath. If you want to come down into knees, chest, chin, you could bring your knees down. Otherwise, chaturanga. And this time we're going to come into up dog. So unfurl the feet, elbows hug the body. We're going to come up so we're on 4 points. You're on the fronts of the feet
and the two palms. Your gaze is up towards where the wall meets the ceiling. Your knees are engaged, your legs are engaged. See if you can bring the shoulders away from the ears, chest is wide. Curl the feet under, come into down dog. Walk the feet to the hands. Relax the head into forward bend. Inhale, come up, flat back, shoulders back. Exhale, come back down to forward bend. And as you inhale, we're coming back to chair now. So hands are by your ears. And once again, we're in that first position where your feet are pressing into the floor and your seat is going down as if there's a chair there. We're rooting and rising. And just stand up straight, reverse swan dive the arms down. We're in Tadasana. We'll do a little flow. I never know which side that you want to see, so the right and the left thing always confuse me. So we're standing in Tadasana, and we're going to start by bringing our right leg back. Feet are both pointed straight ahead, and let's take the right knee down to the floor. If you need some padding, this is where a blanket could come in handy, under the knee. If you have blocks, this is a good time to put them on either side of the front leg. I love props. Okay, we're leaning forward into a low lunge. And then we're gonna exhale and come back so with our heel on the ground, our foot flexed, and we're in a straight leg into a runner stretch. So this is where the blocks could come in handy. And here's the thing. You can keep yourself upright. You can bend at the hip flexor, not at the waist, so that you feel more of it in the hamstring for a deeper stretch, or anywhere in between. You can move the blocks with you as you come back to low lunge. So we're inhaling on low lunge, and let's exhale on runner stretch and go back and forth. And then as we're back in low lunge, take your blocks, put them on the inside of the leg. You might not need blocks, you might need them. So blocks are coming 3 different levels. There's low, medium, and high. See where you need it for your body. And let's take our forearms down into lizard on the inside of the leg. So you don't want to scrunch the torso. So you may need to provide, allow yourself some length here so that your back can just come down flat. And we're not in the rainbow back, we're not curling our backs. You can let your front leg lean towards the pinky toe side, give it a little bit of space, and then bring it back up so the foot is flat and the knee is hugging your shoulder. I think you can see me, right? Deep breath. And then come back up. Remove the blocks or put them on the side. Put your feet on either side of the front leg. Curl the back toes under. Come back into down dog. Walk the dog. Bring the right foot in between the front legs. Lower the left knee, sorry. Have the blocks handy for low lunge, runner stretch up on your heel. Again, we're bending to take it to the edge of where it's challenging. Low lunge, runner stretch, low lunge, runner stretch. We always want to take it to the edge. What is challenging for me might be easy for you, or vice versa. Bring your blocks down. You might need to move them. If your legs are shorter than your torso, everybody's different. Come down on your forearms at whatever level. You might not need blocks. You might need them at a high level to the inside of the front leg for lizard. You can take that front foot and turn it a little bit towards the pinky toe side, away from the body to just get curious and feel what that feels like in your hip, and then bring it back and let it hug the shoulder.
Let your chest be wide. Take a couple of breaths here. Remove the blocks. Hands on either side of the front foot. Curl the back toes under. Take the front leg back to meet the back leg. Down dog. Walk the feet to the hands. Let your head relax and just roll up into Tadasana. Okay. I'm going to keep switching sides so you can see different sides of this. We're in Tadasana. We're going to take our right leg back into high lunge. So the feet are both pointed out straight ahead. And we're going to take our arms and bring them into goddess arms. So this is goddess arms. The reason I love to do this is because you can actually feel the difference. You can feel the shoulders integrate down the back. You widen the chest, your heart is open. It's also a balance pose, and it's okay if you lose your balance. I always talk about how I don't have great balance, but just smile and laugh at yourself. Boy, I'm really teetering here. You'd almost think the wind was pulling me. So arms are in goddess. Actually, take those arms and let's clasp them behind us so you can feel the shoulders integrate in a different way. It's doubtful that your heel hits the floor. Just see where it is. Get curious. Again, goddess arms. Now take that back foot and turn it so that the toes are facing the side of the mat and your feet are perpendicular, so that if they came together, your front leg, which is bent, the heel would go into the arch of the back leg, and our hands come up into warrior two. So in warrior two, our hips are open, our arms are out shoulder height. Again, you can be relaxed or you can put energy in those arms and get an isometric exercise. And your gaze is over the front fingers. For the future, the past, you're in the present. And feel as if you were not leaning forward also. So it's not only that your torso is in the center of the arms and the hips, it's also we're not leaning forward or back. So we're really aligned. Inhale, let the back hand come down the back leg as your front arm comes over into peaceful warrior. Take that left hand that's up in the air and bring it to your rib cage and open the ribs so that your chest is wide, your heart is open. Exhale, bring that arm, the forearm, onto the front thigh in a very gentle way. We're not pressing. Take the right arm and bring it over your ear for side angle. Let's do that one more time with the breath. Inhale, come down to peaceful warrior, and then exhale, side angle. One more time. Inhale, peaceful. Exhale, side angle. And then wheelhouse your arm back to warrior two. Have a block handy at its highest level. Let's take that block and bring it so that it comes about 2 feet away. Well, everybody's different, right? So I might be taller than you. So where your arm can be under your shoulder, as we lift up, our hips are stacked, our shoulders are stacked, and we're in half moon. Your gaze is straight ahead. This is a balance pose. Hold that. Gently bring the foot down, come back into warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Let's just tilt over into triangle. So straight legs. And here's where you almost want to imagine that there's a wall behind you. So your chest is wide as if there's a wall. We're not leaning forward or leaning back. We're sort of in the middle. Come back up. Arms are out by your side. Turn those feet so they're both facing the side of the mat into wide angle pose. Bring your hands behind you, clasp them again. Bring the shoulders back. Come into a flat back. Palms come up. And now forward bend here. Palms are up. See if you can release your hands and take your index finger and middle finger and grab the big toe with both hands. as you pull your torso down, bending at the hip flexor, not the waist. Deep breaths. Let's heel toe our feet together, just a little bit, not all the way together, but your heels are in, your toes are splayed out. Come down into a squat, a yogi squat malasana. Hands are in prayer and our elbows are pushing the knees out. Your torso is upright. A very important asana for mobility and function in life. There are people who sit this way for 15 minutes a day. We're just going to sit here for a few more seconds out of the 84,600 seconds we have. Okay, hands to the floor. Bring your feet so that actually, you know what? You can leave your left foot with your toes splayed out. Come here, turn as you're bent to the front of the mat so that both feet are facing the front of the mat. Allow your head to relax in a forward bend. And let's reverse swan dive up. Hands touch the sky, Tadasana. We have the other side to do. So we're going to come to Tadasana at the top of the mat. Take your left leg back into high lunge. That means toes are facing forward in the same direction. Bring your arms into goddess arms. Feel those shoulders integrate down the back. Oh, so I have to face this direction. That's what I was thinking. So, okay, we're going to wheelhouse the left arm behind you. So turn the back foot so that it's facing the side of the mat. Your feet are perpendicular, front leg is bent. We're in warrior two. Again, just check your alignment, make sure you're in the center. Let your left hand slide down as your right hand comes over as you inhale for peaceful warrior. Allow your right forearm onto your thigh. Use the left hand to bring your rib cage, open your rib cage so that your chest is wide as you come into side angle pose. And if you notice the energy line, pinky toe side of the back foot to these fingers up here. One huge straight line. Again, inhale, peaceful. The hand slides down. Exhale, side angle. It's hard to talk and breathe at the same time. Okay, we have to have a block handy. Come back into warrior two, so we wheelhouse that back arm forward. Have the block handy at the high level. Bring it so that it's under your face. Let's see if I can do this over here. Plant the front foot and allow yourself to come into half moon. So your hips are stacked, one on top of the other. Your shoulders are stacked. And we're balancing. And allow that back foot to gently touch down. Come back to your warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Make sure your body is centered and tip down into triangle. You can use a block here if you'd like, or you can just have your palm out forward on the inside of your calf. Instead of coming into Malasana next, we are going to wheelhouse the back arm towards the front. So face both hands on either side of the front foot. Back foot is straight. Take the front foot back to meet the back foot into down dog. Let's take our right leg up in the sky, bend the leg and stack it over the left hip. Bring it back straight. Bring the knee to the nose. Back up in the air. And as you exhale, bring the knee to the right wrist. Right leg comes to the right wrist. Slide the back leg back for pigeon. Now here, you can take a block, and if you need it, or take your forearms down and create a little hammock with your hands for your forehead. If you have the range of motion and you'd like to take king pigeon, which is bending the back leg and grabbing it, you can do that. You can try it. Hands down on either side of that front knee. Raise the back knee off. Bring the tailbone to the sky for down dog. Pedal the feet. Bring the left leg up in the sky. Bend the knee and stack the hips to open the hips. Bring the left leg back straight. Knee to nose. Left leg up again. And let's bring the knee to the wrist. The left knee to the left wrist. Slide the back leg back a little bit. Now, here's something about our uniqueness. You might have bad knees. If you do, feel free to pad the knees with a blanket. I should have said this with the other leg. If you don't want to torque your leg. So here's where yoga, the correct asana, and you could come down onto your little hammock or your block right now while I'm talking, but the yoga asana teaches us the quote proper way would have been to have your calf parallel to the front of the mat. There's no way some of us will ever get there. So you do what's comfortable for you. Your right leg is going to be different than your left. We are all unique and our bodies are all different. So bring it down. If you want to take it to king pigeon, feel free. If that's within your range of motion, taking the back leg and bending it. Curl the toes under, lift the tailbone to the sky, coming to down dog. Pedal the feet, and then walk the feet to the hands. And just roll up into Tadasana. Come to the front of the mat. So we did a little bit of balance, but I feel like today is a good day to balance, and I think I'd rather, I always have so much more than we have time for, but I think I'd rather do the balancing than some of the other things that I thought we would have time for. So let's take our right leg, bend the leg, turn the heel towards the ankle. We're going to come up into tree on the right side. Hands at heart center. Make sure you're not jutting a hip out, okay? Because we tend to compensate when we're balanced. So you can bring it to the inside of the calf. You can just leave it with your toes on the floor if that's where you are today. Or if you can, and you can bring it to the inside of the thigh, that's great. Whatever works for you. Just check your alignment that you're not jutting a hip out. You can take your hands into any expression. You can bring them back to goddess, so you integrate the shoulders down the back or clasp them, or wave your branches in the wind. Whatever works for you today and feels good. Bring the foot down to meet the other, pedal the feet for a second, and do the same thing with the left leg. We're bringing the heel towards the ankle, and we're raising that leg to where it feels comfortable without jutting out the hip to compensate. The knee is out to the side. You can wave your branches, clasp your hands, or have your hands in goddess. And if you come out of the pose and you lose your balance, it's okay. Just smile. Okay, feet down, touch the floor, and let's come down. We're going to skip seated today. We're going to go right to our backs. So come onto your back. Have a block handy. Get comfortable. Try to integrate the shoulders so that they're under you. So our feet are planted on the floor, close to the body. We're going to raise the hips into bridge. Take your block and place it between the thighs towards the knees. As we come up, bring the hips towards the sky. Take your hands, clasp them under your body so you integrate the shoulders down your back, and press the block between your legs and keep raising the tail, raising your hips to the sky. Breathe. We'll hold this for a couple of seconds. Remove the block, lower the thigh, lower the hips. Bring your feet out to the sides of the mat. And let's let them fall. Your arms are by your sides, palms up. Let you actually bring your arms shoulder height out across you in a T, and let your
legs, your knees drop to the right. Take your right foot and place it on the left knee, and the gaze is over your left shoulder towards your fingers. Say hi to yourself with your fingers, and we're in a twist. We're sort of bringing out the body right now. Deep breath. Bring the feet back, soles of the feet down on the edges of the mat, head center, and let's let our legs drop to the left. And this time, take the foot of the left foot and bring it over the knee of the right, pressing down for more of a stretch. Your gaze is over towards your right fingers. Knees come up, soles of the feet on the floor. Let's hug the knees into the chest. And at the same time you're doing that, see if you can plug the tailbone into the floor. You can roll side to side, go side to side, give your back a little massage. And actually, let's bring our soles of our feet towards the ceiling, separate the legs, grab a hold of the outside pinky toe side of both feet as you press the knees into your underarm area for happy baby. It is a squat upside down. And you now can go side to side and give that lower back a little bit of a massage. Happy baby. This might be one of my favorite poses. And you think about it, you could picture a little baby holding their feet and doing this, right? You know that babies squat until they sit in chairs, and how hard it is for us to squat. We have to practice it. Babies do this too. Okay, take your feet, bring them up in the sky, give your ankles a little twirl in one direction, then the other direction, and then slowly bend your knees and lower your feet down to the floor for Shavasana. Let your feet splay out, arms down by your sides, palms facing up. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or if you'd rather just have a soft gaze looking at the ceiling, you can do that. Really, the idea is to go inward. So even if you're looking at the ceiling, just keep it soft and allow yourself to go inward here. Take a deep breath. And gently scan the body for any tension. So we're always looking to release somewhere. So start with the feet. Check your calves, where they're touching the floor. Think of every part of your body that's touching the floor, working your way up, and see if there's tension somewhere. You might feel it in your lower back. You might feel it in your hips, shoulders. You might feel it in your jaw, your forehead, or the crown of your head. Wherever you're feeling it, see if there's somewhere in your body that you can release the tension and relax. And we'll take a few of those 86,400 seconds to lie here as our body integrates all the movement we just did. So if you'd like to stay here, this is a very short Shavasana. You're welcome to stay. Really, you do not have to get up. But if you'd like to join me, just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, reach your arms overhead and give yourself a huge body stretch. And then turn to your right side and using your left hand, pull yourself up into a seated position. Easy seat. Bring your hands to heart center. I just want to say thank you so much. I am so honored when you spend time with me on the mat, and appreciate all of you, and have a wonderful weekend. In yoga, we say namaste, which means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. So namaste.